All right. So you know the title is I Can See Clearly Now. Did you know that suffering is an option? We don't have to suffer. We can choose to make life choices to live with intention, conscious intention. Or we can live unconsciously until the pain gets so unbearable that we have to stop and go, there's got to be a better way than this. This same concept applies to this community. As a group, we have a choice. We can choose to continue on as we've always done, where we are just holding on in survival, or we can choose to be a thriving, kick-ass, that's right, I said it, ministry. Now, I don't know about you, but I think we're ready. We are ready. We are ready to be a thriving community. So I know there's so many of you that love and care deeply for this community. I get that. As a group, what we need to do is we need to kind of harness that power, because there's a lot of power in that, and shape this community the way it's going to look. What it is, what it does, how it fits into our lives, how it fits into the world, the greater world of Lawrence, the community. In his book, I Am the Word, which I just got a copy, so I'm going to be reading it off the sheet because I use the Kindle always for my electronic whatever I do. He channels the following information about group dynamics. The group and collective energy can actually do a lot to change matter. And when a group decides something is so on an energetic level, that becomes its truth. Did you hear me? That becomes its truth. And it starts with each one of you here sitting in this space. Last week, I spoke about tuning into the divine frequency. And we said the shift in frequency, this is how we can change the world. Today, I want to focus on it from a community aspect. What does it mean for us in this community? We know as metaphysicians that God, allness, divine, really is perfect love. So when we are tuning into the frequency of the divine, we are tuning into love. We are tuning into a higher frequency. Now, why would I consider love a higher frequency? Any takers on that? Why would I consider love of a higher frequency? Because it feels good. Good. What else? Have you seen a couple that are in love? New love? What is that like? Right? They're like vibrating all over the place. You know, we can't help but smile when we look at them. It lifts everything. So that's why we talk about love being a higher frequency. Selig also writes about love in his book, where he writes, true love is not a condition. It is a frequency that is emitted, that transforms that which it encounters. And it's free. And it's not to be dictated as much as it is to be expressed. So love is not of the personality, where we withhold or give depending on someone's behavior or a certain situation. Love is a frequency of the divine. And as human beings, we are so afraid of loving in totality. Often the first thought that comes up is, what if I get hurt? Know this. Love is never wasted or lost. Love is never wasted or lost. If I choose to love someone, and that person does or says something to hurt me, first of all, it's my decision to feel hurt. Is it not? Yes. It's my decision to feel hurt. Second of all, they haven't gotten over on me. They haven't gotten the better of me because I have been my truth. I have shown up as love, as divine love. That's all that I'm required to do. So whatever they do with the love that I have given to them, whose business is it? Theirs. Is it my business? No. Nope. Not my business. My business is to be in that frequency of the divine. But the issue comes up when we have our limited beliefs and we dictate what love is and what it's supposed to look like. And I got to tell you, I think Disney has a lot to answer for with this. They have distorted our perception of what love is and what it looks like, both on the romantic love and also on the love of mankind. So it's up to us now to recognize what love is from the divine aspect. And I remember as a teenager waiting for my Prince Charming to come. How many of you ladies were waiting for Prince Charming as a young teenager? That's right. That's right, Russell. Thank you. And you know what? Prince is charming. I realized Prince Charming wasn't coming. So I did the next creative thing that I could. I tried to turn every guy that I met into Prince Charming. Well, you know, that didn't go really well. Today, as women of power, hear me, we save ourselves and we become the love that we've all been looking for in someone else. We embrace that. And for those of you who partner with us, you must feel a lot of relief because you don't have to save us or anybody else. And we get to see you as you are without those rose-colored glasses, which are also known as the great expectations, right? We get to see you. And so this is one of the gifts about seeing clearly, releasing those beliefs. Yeah, but what about when life doesn't turn out the way that we thought it should? You know, I hear that an awful lot. Well, you know, this didn't go the way I thought it was. You know, in my life, I should be someplace else. I heard a story once about a minister who was being raked over and through the coals by our governing body, the Worldwide Ministry, Unity Worldwide Ministry, because he was having an affair with a congregant. My first thought was, good, he deserved it. He abused his power, preyed on one of his lambs. And then I had a conversation with Miss Martha Creek. You know Martha. Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. And she goes, you know what? Ministers have been having an affair with congregants for thousands of years. Why do we get shocked? Why do we feel the need to punish when it happens? Because guess what? It will happen again. Well, I got to tell you, that took the wind right out of my sails of righteous indignation. It was gone. You know, and I realized it's only through the act of forgiveness that we release that stranglehold that we have on the unhealthy relationships, issues, and lifestyles that we use, that we live. Unforgiveness, that is a really powerful energy. Is it a light energy, high frequency, low frequency? Yeah, it's a low frequency. And guess who needs forgiveness the most? This group is A students, baby. That's right, ourselves. Ourselves. Because the question is, who told you you would live happily ever after? Disney. Disney strikes again, that's right. But here's the scoop. The world doesn't owe us anything. And God didn't do it to us. The world doesn't owe us anything, and God didn't do it to us. We all come from family systems where we were taught what safety and love looks like through behaviors that may not have been aligned with truth. And sometimes it made no sense, but that's all they knew. That's what they had learned as well. And most of our judgments and shame come from our limiting beliefs about what is right and wrong and what looks like failure and success. Selig again writes this in his book. It's on pages 124 to 125. You have to understand that the constructs that you have created, that you believe to be limitations or embarrassments, or faults or problems that you hold to, keep you from accepting yourself as the truth of what you are. Keeps you from accepting the truth of what you are. Everything that we label and call a name to has been taught to us. We call the sky, sky, because someone taught us that the blue heavens above, that was the name of it, sky. And these are all constructs that help us to function in this realm. Get it? So now the next question is, what are the constructs that you have about Unity of Lawrence? What do you say a unity community looks like? Do you believe that this community needs your love, attention, and care? You know, a community is like a living organism. As most organisms, if we love and feed it and care for it, it grows and it thrives and it flourishes. But yet, if an organism is starved for love, care, energy, support, it barely survives. That's just how it works. Here at Unity of Lawrence, there are numerous ministries in this community. Some ministries have gone by the wayside, and some ministries are just really trying to hold on. And when I talk about ministries, what I want you to think of is the youth ministry, the hospitality ministry, even the music ministry. What would it look like if we made a decision to adopt one of those ministries and love and care for it and feed it? What would it look like? Well, first of all, I don't have to guess, because all I have to do is look over at Nancy and Roger and that bookstore, and I know what it looks like. It looks like beauty. It looks expansive. It looks different, with new eyes, new possibilities. They shared their time and talents here with Lawrence so that you can find some things that you may love or your loved ones may love, while also financially supporting Unity of Lawrence to thrive. The outreach ministry. We had 5 people over at the Unity Convention. That was this small ministry showing support for our governing body. And also stepping into the arena and saying, we've got talent and skills here. That's huge, really huge. The number of you that showed up for the Martha Creek weekend, oh my gosh, the energy was off the hook. People cooked food, good food, I might add. People cooked. We had Lavana and Bev and Jerry really putting in the lion's share of setting up and cleaning up downstairs. We had a good time. There's proof. I think there's a picture floating around somewhere that we did that. We had fun. This is how we grow and shift together as a community. And let's not forget your board. Your board worked, baby. They worked to steward this community for the good of all of us. So the reason that I'm focused on this book, I Am the Word, is because when Selig channels these beings, they talk about shifting our consciousness. And in this book, there are quite a number of practical steps of how to do that. You know, often in Unity, we talk theory, and then we don't really know how to apply it. What I liked so much about this book is there's lots of techniques and things that we can do to shift. And one of the tools that I really liked was deciding to be God in action. Deciding to be God in action. He writes on page 87 to 88, to claim, word I am word, really means that you are impressing into the energy field the activation of the Christ energy and the energy of the Creator. Word is an action. The Word is God in action. When you claim, Word, I am Word, you're identifying with the aspect of God that is the Word, that can be realized through man. That's huge. That's powerful. That means that we can make the intention in any given situation to be God in action. Not in theory, in action. That is huge. We can transform our lives. We can transform this community. We can transform the greater community outside of these walls. So my intention is to be God in action in my life, within this community, and with each and every one of you that I connect to, that I have an interaction with. I have to tell you, every time that I connect with you, there is just joy in my heart for you. I'm amazed at the lives that you've lived in the past, the lives you're living now, and that you're part of a community that is focused on growing, focused on raising its consciousness. That's not easy. That's not an easy job to do. And you've signed up for it, whether you know it or not. So the last question is, how are you going to be God in action in this community? How are you going to be God in action in this community? This is the place to serve. How do we grow? We grow from those precious interactions with each other through our relationships. When we get bumped, when something gets triggered, when we feel love, when we don't feel love, that's where we grow, because it forces us to look in the mirror at ourselves. This is a wonderful opportunity. I look forward to seeing transformation. Thank you, Nancy and Roger, again, for that big gift of the bookstore. Thank you.